This
is not Jeopardy. Welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast, episode 238. On this show, we showcase gun reviews, gear, and anything else a gun enthusiast may be looking for. We strive to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm your host, Chad Wallace from the Firearms Radio Network, your source for broadcasts for shooters, hunters, and all things firearms related. And in this show, we'll be discussing some stuff I saw at Triggrcon and, well, some other stuff. And tonight on the podcast, we have pretty much the usual guys, Tony, Rob, Zane, but we have our special guest, Mr. Kenny Ortega, to do his review from, the Firearms Radio Network, because why not? So we're on to what you guys did. Whoever wants to start can go ahead.
Yeah, wait again. Screw it. Oh, hey, I got my new toy in.
That thing's awesome.
The electric gun, I got it.
Jesus.
I couldn't wait. I pulled the trigger, I bought it, and I already broke it.
That's not saying good things about it.
Well, I mean, it is a T&E, and I'm going to provide them some feedback on my T&E so far. So, other than that, I ain't done nothing. So,
is that well? Go ahead.
Yeah, someone's watching the YouTube in the background. I can hear.
Yeah, somebody's back.
It was me. It was me because these noise cancellation headphones work so well. I didn't hear the phone in my hand as I was typing in the chat.
Nice.
Yeah, these things work. We hosted the Second is for Everyone diversity shoot last Thursday. It was awesome. We had brand new shooters come out because you know that Sean does his martial fitness guncraft, where he has students shoot cert guns and learn how to use cert guns, and they don't have a real gun in class. Well, some of the ladies from there wanted to actually shoot a real gun, and of course the diversity shoot is set up just for people like them. One of the ladies, Mimi, she was scared. So we brought her in, and of course we did like we do everybody who's a new shooter, and we put her through some of our trainers after we did the safety class. And this lady was just shooting the center out of targets with a 22 semi-auto like nobody's business, semi-automatic pistol. So she loved what she did to the point that the day after the event, she donated $30 to our GoFundMe. So I thought that was really cool. The event grows every time. We had some awesome people come out. We had some Latinos come out that actually run their own group or their own page on Facebook. And they actually stumbled upon me using the hashtag 2A4E, or the Second is for Everyone. They used that because they were doing it in Spanish, their page in Spanish, and they just happened to type in hashtag 2A4E or Second is for Everyone, and it pulled up my page. So they came to the event. They didn't even know I was existing in Jersey doing this for the last, this is my 4th year. So that was pretty cool. A lot of fun, a lot of cool guns. We even had a micro Roni, if you guys know what that is. The little shoulder-fired accessory kit from CAA.
Yeah, and, for the Glock.
It pretty much turns your Glock 17, 19, 22, 23 into a pistol caliber carbine. So
I thought it turned it into a pistol caliber pistol.
Oh, it's a pistol caliber pistol. Yeah, I'm sorry. It doesn't have a longer barrel.
So it's got a pistol stock on it. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
I got you.
A rifle stock.
No, you got an SBR for a rifle stock.
Yeah, the forearm thing. Yeah, no, a rifle stock.
SIG brace thing?
Yeah, that's it. It uses a SIG brace. Okay. Clamps right on, like kind of little clamshelly. To me, it's still a range toy until you put a lot of rounds through it and run it roughly. But it's a fun toy.
Yep. Zane.
Yo, I was muted. I did some things. I sold a couple guns and then promptly spent that money to buy a new gun. I went out there and really, really broadened my horizons and got a Glock 19.
Broadened your horizons.
Yeah, really branching out, trying new things. I spray painted another gun because it's fun to spray paint guns. And I shot. Oh, I taught a concealed weapons class too. That's kind of a big thing. Got 6 new people certified to carry guns in Florida. Hopefully they won't turn into Florida man or Florida woman.
You can hope. You can hope. Yeah.
I like to think
they're already
class,
Florida man and Florida women.
Yeah, I like to think my class is geared towards the smarter people out there, but who knows?
Yep.
Look who's teaching it.
Well, there's that.
Yeah.
As long as you're newsworthy Florida man and Florida woman, you're good.
Well, yeah, but Zane and Rob are both, I guess, one could be Florida man, one could be Florida woman, I guess.
Oh, shut up.
I call ma'am.
Zane, you can be whatever you decide. There's only 50 million ones that you can choose. Yep. So Kenny, what'd you do?
I haven't done any shooting, but I've just been doing some reloading. I've got a match coming up, so a positional rifle match. Got my tax stamp recently for my first SBR, so I've been playing with that, getting it ready. I gotta get all the paperwork together so I can get the engraving done on it, and got a new TAC 14, so I've been playing with that a little bit too.
Sweet.
I just gotta get them out to the range and try them all.
Yeah, I get you there. When you say positional match, is that like high power or just something different?
So it's National Rifle League match. So it's
Okay.
just it's long distance, different various distances. I don't know what the course of fire is yet, but there's nothing prone, so it's all various positions, barricades, things like that. So
Gotcha. Figured I'd ask since who knows, get a little more info on it. Me, well, this last week I didn't do anything, but the week before that, I went to Triggrcon, which, of course, as some people know, is a trade show type deal put on by Rainier Arms. It's a lot of fun, got to see our old co-host, Mr. Ryan Cross, and chat with him and go to their Grey Ghost party and get free stuff. And so that was a lot of fun.
He didn't bring us anything, you cheap booger.
Yep. I didn't bring you anything. Hey, if you guys want to go, it's going to be next year too. So
how big is Triggrcon compared to like NRA?
I don't know, like a 16th.
Okay, so it's not that big.
Yeah.
No, no. But they get a lot of. It's nice talking to people. Saw some cool stuff. One of them, a couple things we're going to talk about. Saw some people. The Stern Defense people sent me that mag adapter. Were there. Killer Innovations was there. They make some pretty cool Glock stuff. There's just they have a lot of cool stuff there. It's small, personal.
It's going to be subtitled "The Grey Ghost Show."
Well, not really. I mean, we do have these cool Triggrcon Grey Ghost precision patches, which you guys didn't get. So
I'm not flying out to Oregon to get a patch.
It's not in Oregon. It's in Washington.
Whatever.
Hey, it was nice. It was like 95 degrees outside or something. Okay.
I can step outside and be 95 degrees right now.
Yeah, me too. And it's not supposed to be that hot up here, so that's just what I'm saying. Yeah, but it's a lot of fun meeting with people and talking about new products. So trying to get free stuff. I mean, Tony would have a heyday, but it's too far for him to go. The guys from Faxon that were there, I actually was wearing Tony's 2A for E shirt, and they mentioned something about that I didn't look like Tony Simon, and so
no kidding, duh.
Yeah, but yeah, they Tony's met him, so it was pretty entertaining. So at least Tony's shirt got recognized by somebody.
Ew.
Yeah. So on to the announcements. Our bandwidth sponsor is our buddies at Patriot Patch Co. New patches and pre-orders, and join the Patch of the Month Club because, as we all know, they're super cool. This month is the boating safety, which has an AR with some like floaties on it so you don't lose it in your boating accident. Or you can take the floaties off if you want to lose it in your boating accident. They have some new pre-orders. I only saw one, which was like the pumpkin spice grenade or something, but I know they have a couple more. So keep watching. You might see some new ones you just can't live without. If you're shopping Amazon, use our affiliate link at firearmsradio.tv/Amazon. And if you want to donate stuff to Tony from Black Bag Resources, shop there and use the code 2A for E, and all the stuff in your cart will be donated to him. And now it's time for Rob to say something about nothing.
To get the legal crap out of the way. Gotcha. Right where in the show notes where it says Rob disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual co-hosts and do not reflect the official policy or position of the Firearms Radio Network and or their employers. Viewer discretion is advised. This is especially true on live shows. And now for a review about something. We have our Kenny Ortega.
Kenny's going to review his Grey Ghost Precision slide.
Told you, the Grey Ghost show.
Yeah, see, he's got it.
Here's item number one.
It's basically the same one I received and reviewed, but he's got a different take on it. So he's here to, no, it's still good. He's here to tell you about it. So I guess take it away, Kenny.
Oh, thanks a lot. Well, I basically did a comparison on another slide that I had on my gun. I had a ZEV slide that I purchased for my Glock 19. And shortly before NRA, I took a class with MDFI out in New Mexico. And during some of the drills there, I encountered several issues with this slide where there wasn't a whole lot of purchase on the slide to go ahead and rack it when we were doing some failure drills. Some of the brass that had been picked up was apparently shot out of a chamber that was considerably larger than the one in my gun. So as a result, it was very difficult to go ahead and rack the slide and clear the malfunction. And given the fact that the ZEV slide has more scallops than serrations, it didn't offer a lot of grip on there. So I had numerous challenges. I realized that slide was basically putting my life in danger if I tried to run it on the gun as a regular item on there. So when I was at NRA this year, I was looking around different slides and happened upon the Grey Ghost Precision booth. They were sharing it with Tactical Tailor. I was actually drawn to that at first, and then I saw that they had the stuff and immediately went over there and took a look and ran into Ryan Cross. And as a result, talking back and forth, he said, well, let me send you one for review, see what you think about it. He sent it to me. And when it came in, nice slide, looked good, clean lines. There were no tool marks. It was the finish on it was nice and even. It looked like it was very well made. I started digging into it a little bit. The RMR cover on there was well machined, and again, very nice fit. Showed evidence of good machining. Went ahead and started putting it on the gun. It was a tight fit, and that had me a bit skeptical. Okay, because it definitely fit very snugly. I put it together dry and just went ahead and figured, okay, I'm going to torture test this thing and see what I can do, see what its weak points are. And I had several failures to feed, failures to go in battery in the first 100 rounds or so. And using Winchester White Box, which is notorious for having all sorts of issues, I figured I'm gonna go ahead and see exactly what this thing will do. After the first 100 rounds, the thing started running flawlessly. Anything that I did to it, it didn't matter. Ran some defensive ammunition through it, some critical duty, some critical defense that I had. I tried some old Federal 9mm that's probably like 20 years old. It was just sitting around. It swallowed that stuff with no problem at all, and it just kept on shooting. I went ahead and oiled it up, and it hasn't failed since. Handed it off to some people that basically are not very experienced shooters. They tend to limp wrist things, and it continued to run. I was actually really impressed with the thing. The RMR fit was nice and snug. I actually had to fit the RMR to it, whereas a lot of other slides that I've seen, it's just a drop fit and the RMR is loose. Tolerances on this thing are held really tightly. It looks good. When I ran it with just ball and dummy, drills to see if I can go ahead and manipulate it when it did have a malfunction, it was much easier to manipulate. I could actually manipulate it where I couldn't do it with the ZEV. So overall, I was really impressed. If it had been a little bit more reliable initially, I think it would be fantastic, but it worked its way in. It was obviously designed to be a, semi-fit semi gunsmith fit part that you put in, and you got to work it in first to get it going. Once it does, it mates up and just continues to run. So about the only other thing that I did torture tested, I did throw a compensator on the front. Figure if I throw some weight on the barrel, see if I can go ahead and induce some more malfunctions, and it just again continued to run like a top. So where I thought I would find some things that I could say that needed to be fixed on it, I didn't really find anything other than maybe open up those tolerances just a little bit so it becomes more reliable initially. But other than that, the thing just worked great. Cool.
Hey, I got one question though. Does it take Glock Mags?
That's the one downside.
What comp did you put on the front?
I forget whose comp it is now. I'm drawing a blank on it. It's their micro comp.
It's black something. I know.
Hey, watch yourself now.
It says TBRCI in the review, but
yeah, it's I can't remember the name, but I know which one you're talking about. Do you have to run hotter ammo through it, or can you? Or like with Winchester White Box, still cycle it with the comp on there?
Yeah, it runs with anything I fed through it. Anything I put in it, it ran. Didn't have any issues at all.
Cool.
And since I also have one, except I put mine on a polymer 80 and do not have an RMR on it. I pretty much had the same experience. Super tight, ran it back and forth a bunch, and then the first 100 rounds, I was having problems, and then after that it runs. I didn't put a compensator on it, but it runs pretty much everything. I even have some 165 grain Hush ammo, which is like super low powered, and it'll cycle it fine with that, without a suppressor. So yeah, I'm in agreement. They did a nice job. I did have a question about, did you get a barrel, or did you run a barrel you already had?
Actually, I ran both. I have a Silencer co-threaded barrel, and Ryan also sent me one of their barrels. So
okay.
The majority of the work was done with their barrel, but even the Silencer co barrel, which is a really tight chamber, it ran like a top with that as well.
Yeah, I think I've used like 3 different barrels in mine now, and they all run fine, and so it's kind of take your pick on which ones you like. So
I was kind of happy to hear the RMR cut was tight, because that's kind of like a thing I've been seeing around. They cut the loose tolerances, so the tolerances for the RMRs everything will fit, and you wear out your optic quicker, and those things aren't cheap.
Yeah, and Ryan told me that they do cut them. He explained it to me. They cut them small. They cut them like on the minimum tolerance plus a couple thousandths. So they're like,
I mean, if you got a rubber mallet, you can get it to seat down.
Right. And
the problem is, if you have really loose tolerances, the only thing holding the RMR on is the 2 screws, and you get a lot more shock going into the electronics, and the screws want to shear off.
Right. And that's one of the reasons they make them tight. And he did say once that if you do have one, if you buy one of their slides and you cannot get an RMR to fit, if you send the slide and the RMR back to them together, they will fit it.
I mean, if you got a hand file and some patience, you can probably do it.
I know, but I think probably more so meant they'll fit it and then probably put something on it to keep it from, coated again or something to that effect. But well, thanks for the review, Kenny. We appreciate it. Actually, it was Ryan's idea. He said, "Hey, Kenny did a nice review. Why don't you get him on?" I'm like, I don't know why I didn't think of that.
Thank you both.
Yeah. Are you going to stick around?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, good. Well, I guess we will get into... Go ahead, Tony.
I look at companies like Grey Ghost is doing what they're doing. Everything's not a drop-in part. We've gotten past that now. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, now it's semi-custom. It's tighter tolerances, and it's a better firearm all around. That's the way I'm looking at it. The way they set it up, it's more accurate. It works better. Everything doesn't have to be a drop-in part. sorry, but that's
No, and a lot of times
1911.
drop-in parts aren't as good. For
Yeah.
a drop-in trigger is never going to be as good as a custom fit trigger. Just,
Correct. And
it's not going to be.
well,
And, it's the same thing.
even in Zane's favorite 1911 world, I mean,
Yes.
pretty much, you got to fit stuff. Well, that's how you get fine products. You fit it. Well, kind of like the Grey Ghost slide. It's kind of a semi-fit, fit it to your frame.
Exactly. I mean, that's what Wilson Precision, that's what Les Bear, that's what all those guys used to do. It was all fitting. You'd send your gun to them and they'd make it work. Clark Custom, that's what they did with 1911s. That's where you get really good stuff. And that's what's happening now finally with the plastic fantastic tactical Tupperware.
Is Grey Ghost doing Gen 5 stuff yet for slides?
I don't think so.
Nobody is.
I'm going to tactical.
Gen 5 is Glock Perfection.
It is. It's perfection perfected.
Did you try L2D research? They may.
I mean, there's a local guy around here who does good work I could send my slide to. I was just thinking.
I don't think so, but don't quote me on that because it's live.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Now, so Low Key Tactical is a. I'm sure you've heard of them. They're like local to me. They're 20 miles down the road, so they do pretty decent work.
Yep, that's always convenient.
Well, it's actually a local shop to me that they do some nice work on Glocks, and took one of their slides that a friend has, and that same RMR, it dropped on. It was a loose fit. It was, rattling around a little bit in there without any screws on. So it's obviously designed for the end user to be able to go ahead and put it on simply. But there again, you're going to have stress on those screws. If the screws aren't hardened properly, they'll shear, or you'll just induce additional vibration to that.
And that's kind of the trade-off, Do you want ease of installation, or do you want a little longer life on your RMR? Now, I know the RMR's got a good warranty, but if it's a carry gun, I'm not, I don't know.
Carry or competition. You're just going to get beat to snot.
Well,
Yep.
Self-defense is a competition.
Yeah.
For your life.
Yeah.
So when they say RMR, I'm assuming they just mean they're specifically cut out for a Triggrcon, right?
Correct. Or the Holosun runs a RMR cut. So
I was going to say that the Holosun has the same footprint.
Correct. And who knows? I'm assuming those will fit too, like they should. But I think I've seen a few on some of their slides, so I think they will. But I guess we'll get into the product spotlight, and because of this, at Triggrcon, Grey Ghost Precision came out with what they call their combat pistol compact. So it's the compact version. And of course, there's not a link on their website, but we do have some specs. And so I'll go through the specs, the normal ones. It's a Glock style pistol. It uses one of their slides, but it's a new style slide, not the V1 or V2 that you can buy separately. It's a different one. It's pretty cool looking. It's pretty grippy. I actually liked it. It's only available on the finished guns. So there is that. They do come with the same RMR cutout. They come with, you can get a threaded barrel as an option. They do have night vision tritium sights with the yellow up front, which I think is considered the yellow. And they're pretty cool. They're pretty decent sights. They run the rear U-notch tritium. Their cover plate is their G10. It's a match grade barrel with 1 in 10 twist. It is a 15 round gun. It does run a CMC flat Glock trigger with the pull weight is a little over 3 pounds. Basically, it says 3 pounds. Does have your pick rail at the front. I could go over the height and stuff, but I don't know if it's really worth it. They precision machine their slides for their critical dimensions held to plus or minus 0.003. It is milled. It is black nitrite coated. It has an enhanced grip. They put it's a Grey Ghost Precision logo, and it's molded into the grip, and it's comfortable. It's not like super over sticky or gonna tear your hands up, but it's not like super smooth like some guns are, and that's kind of nice. It's a good looking generic style logo that doesn't have like their skull or anything in it. So it comes with an extended mag release. It has a 107.5 degree grip angle, which is the 1911 grip angle, compared to the 110.5 Glock style. It's your standard extended beaver tail accelerator cut, so it's super high. You can get it in black or cobalt. The cobalt is kind of a grayish color. You can get an option of the Mars Sister magazine release, which is it's basically an ambi mag release. It comes with a custom soft pistol case. It comes with 3 Magpul mags, 15 rounders. And it's pretty cool. I did actually shoot 2 of them while I was there. They shoot like a polymer 80 style. They look a lot like that. They are serial numbered. It's a complete gun by Grey Ghost Precision. MSRP on these is $14.99, which, if you were to add up all the stuff you're getting, is not a terrible price. It's actually competitive. I actually liked it. I thought the slide was pretty nice. It was not slick either. It gave you good grip. Plus, it's kind of cool looking. So I thought I'd throw it in here. Ryan got me the specs on it because he's a nice guy that way. And now it's up for you guys to say something nice about it or terrible about it. Or laugh.
I look at it like this. Before, I used to have a fit over things like this because I'm like, what's the point? But now I'm understanding that people want high-end aftermarket things on their Glocks, and the better the companies. This is pretty much the price range of most companies, isn't that right? For aftermarket, something like this.
I think
it's a little low. Like if you could buy an agency gun or a Zev gun, you're gonna be spending more than this.
Yeah, you'd be.
That's what I was trying to think of. Okay, because that's what I was trying to think. But usually, truth be told, when I get to stuff like that from Zev or from agency, I'm like, whatever. I won't even look. But yeah, I thought the price was a little bit lower. And I'm like, but you got everything you have in all those guys, except, they haven't painted it gold. I mean, it still looks tactical without going to the pimp my ride freaking level.
Yeah, but don't you want a gold-plated gun, Tony?
I want a gold-plated AK. Yes, I'm not even going to front.
Yeah, but I don't want a gold-plated Glock copy, so I guess we'll have to go back to this actually looking decent.
Yeah, I'd totally run a gold barrel on a Glock. Just saying.
Yeah, you would.
Of course you would. You're Florida man.
Mm-hmm.
There's that.
Well, I'll tell you what. I know this little flyer you got for us didn't have anything about the threaded barrel, so I'm assuming you had some intel from mine when you were out at Triggrcon. But
yeah, actually, he sent me that today.
I kind of like it. I mean, it looks nice. I'm just, again, I like to talk before. I'm just kind of curious about how that. That's a logo on both sides of the frame, right?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it says like Grey Ghost Precision on the one side, and then under here where the metal plate is, it has the serial number.
I would just be curious how rough that would be to shoot. Yeah,
and that's why I kind of said it's not like a super stippled pistol. Okay. It's kind of in between. I mean, I'm trying to think of something that it kind of relates to.
I mean, if you think about it, it's already drilled and tapped for a RMR. Which, I mean, if you're looking at that as a Glock, you're looking at what, a Gen 4 or upgrade of about $100 for a Glock to do that, right?
For MOS?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
for the MOS
think
Glock, yeah.
Yeah,
Gen
for the
4, Gen
MOS,
5.
yeah, it's Gen 4 and 5, and then
But then again, too,
if you send your gun off, you're looking at, usually it's an addition to getting all slide work done already, and it's usually like an extra $100 to the slide package.
the thing you got to be careful too is with the Glock one, it has 4 regular screws on there, and you have to take the plate and match the plate to your optic, and then mount them together, and probably use some red Loctite to make sure they don't work its way out.
Yeah, the MOS system isn't extremely robust. They're having problems with it.
It's not perfect. I've got one
it's-
with the MOS on it. It does not have a reflex on it right now, and it probably won't.
Yeah, well, I mean, I understand why Glock did that. They wanted to accommodate all the red dots, but in doing so, same thing like we were talking about earlier. You're not getting a tight fit on your optic, so optics are going down.
Right. I'm also going to throw in what Rob and I were talking about before the show, way before the show. With this pistol, being a factory pistol, you're getting a CMC flat trigger, which I don't know if I mentioned, but you are. You're getting good sights. Everything on this.
Well, you did say the U-notch, right?
Well, some people like U-notch.
Let's be easy on good sights. They're U-notch.
But if you want it for a carry pistol, it is a factory pistol. So, if you worry about I don't want to put a trigger in my Glock because then it won't be a factory trigger. Well, technically, this is from a factory, so it's a factory gun.
Does it go in Glock holsters?
No, it goes in polymer 80
No, it
holsters.
probably fits custom holsters.
Yeah, it goes in polymer 80 holsters.
Now, one thing I do like about it too is it's got a little cutout for where your middle finger would go right underneath the trigger guard.
The new kids are calling those double undercuts.
Yep, your undercuts got undercuts, dog. Hey, dog, I heard you like undercuts. I got undercuts.
Don't forget
undercuts.
Don't forget, it's got a
doggity dog. Oh man,
it's got, what is that? It's a thumb traction device or whatever. What do you call the thumb?
We're calling those accelerator cuts.
There you go. It's
a thumb traction device.
You guys keep the young guy on the show for a reason. I know.
Well, yeah. I mean, we got to keep the young guy that shoots.
Now, I was poking around on their website, and the only thing they have right now, they've got a picture of the pistol and just says more intel coming soon. So
exactly, and that's why I
hold on before we get too far away from this. Let me go ahead and congratulate Greg Ghost in including a pistol case with this. Thank you.
Oh, Thank that's kind of neat. I'm over plastic boxes or even worse, cardboard boxes.
Yeah, and that is a nice touch, and I'm sure that because they're in with Tactical Tailor, it's going to be a decent pistol case, not just some Chinese-made thing. It's going to be decent.
I remember when FN started doing that with, I think, some of their 509s. I was like, man, that's a nice touch.
Well, no, they started that with the FN 45 Tactical.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm kind of agnostic to this gun overall, just because it's cool.
It doesn't say Glock on the side of it, Smyrna, Georgia.
It's just not. It's definitely not innovational. I mean
it's not for everybody, but it is.
That's
for
cool.
some people.
If you don't like the Glock angle of the backstrap angle, it actually has a 3 degrees more vertical.
Yeah. So if you're wrong, you can shoot the wrong angle.
Yeah, and the wrong angle is so much better.
If you're right, you don't shoot Zane's gun, you shoot your own gun because you'll shoot it.
Yeah, no, I mean, how the gun points, all that. Yeah, it's all good. I don't know. I just don't get excited for this. It's weird. It's hard.
Next week, if we reviewed a Glock, I don't care what it is, pick the original Gen 1 Glock, Zane will go gaga for it.
No, I guess it's I don't know. It's a factory gun, but I guess I don't look at it like it's a polymer 80.
Yeah,
I mean, it's cool.
Yeah.
I like it, but I don't know. I just don't.
Yeah, but think of somebody transitioning from 1911. It's got the 1911 grip angle, so they're not going to have the issues with it with the natural point. I've been a 1911 guy for 3 decades, and
doesn't the M&P use the?
It does. I think it does.
I think so. I can't remember.
Okay, how's this? Everyone, uses the same angle except Glock.
Well, you know what? Everyone can't be right, Tony.
Well, that's why Glock's wrong, because everybody else is at least
If
almost
three or four
right.
gun manufacturers are doing it the other way, you're wrong.
My problem, I have a 1911. My problem isn't with the angle. I guess I don't feel like this is, I don't know. I guess it's just a mental thing. It to me does not look like you made a gun. It looks like you.
That's why we have you on the show for a reason.
Yeah, I kind of equate it to a lot of these. I'm going.
We have him for a reason. I forget what it is.
Hold on. Shh. Let him talk, please. I want to hear it. Go.
I kind of equate it to a lot of these AR manufacturers who are just like bolting other people's parts together and, hey, we're making a gun. It's like, no, you're not. You're putting one together. But there's still a lot of them are really cool. I don't know. I like it. Like I said, it's not a dig on the company or anything, but it's more like some of the AR stuff I see, I think, instead of like a gun manufacturer, I guess. Does that make sense?
Ryan, the only thing I gotta say is, Ryan, if you still listen to us, let me know when you're gonna ship this thing. I'd love to get my hands on one.
Does it make sense? No, it doesn't make sense, because what you're saying is, if the AR-15 isn't built by Armalite Occult, it's not an AR-15. I mean, that's the equivalent of what you're saying.
No, I mean, you can make your own parts in house. Obviously, not your forged lowers. There's only like 2 companies that make those. But
what about those 3D printed ones?
Well,
okay, next. Keep going.
Listen, I just these little small companies that just are buying everybody else's stuff. And well, at least they're making their own slides and stuff though. So I don't know.
Right.
I just
exactly. It's like they're making their own gun. Now, yeah, it looks like a Glock, uses Glock parts because Glocks are popular. But that's like saying everybody that makes a 1911 isn't really making a 1911, but every company's making a 1911 except Glock.
Hey, at least they didn't release a Springfield.
Well, that's next on our list.
See how
away from Grey Ghost.
Nobody's released this.
Yes.
Let's just go ahead and roll into this.
We might as well use Zane's segue.
Jeez, man, I try.
it almost.
Okay, hold on. Let me explain how to use a segue. You smoothly go into a segue and usually don't point out that you just trying to help.
Hey, Tony. I've listened to your podcast, and your segues involve porn music. So,
and Kenny's going, "Oh, this is going to be the first podcast we're cutting from the network."
Oh no, not at all. I listen to WLS. You guys got nothing on them.
Yeah, we try not to cuss on here, so every once in a while we do. But yeah, well, we're not them, so we can handle that. So I guess we'll get into we'll drop the Grey Ghost and get into the Springfield Armory new XDS.
Do we have to?
Yes, Mod 2 in 9mm with a.
Hey, I'll save you time. I hate it. It's a piece of crap. Don't buy it. Next.
Okay, with an MSRP of $524 to $586, depending on which sites you get.
I have a question though. Where do you put your hand on it?
Let me get there, will you? I mean, you're not helping me any. So what they did is they redesigned it so they have their Mod 2 and the XDS 9. It is a 3.5-inch barrel. Their standard pretty much grip, their Mod 2 grip. It runs a melanite steel slide. You can get, depending on which optics are not optics, but which sites you want, you can get tritium or fiber optic, or you can get it with a Viridian laser. And it looks like the laser also has fiber optic sights. It looks like it holds 7 rounds, and it comes with a 7-round and a 9-round and a flush plate for the 7-round. It weighs 21.5 ounces, 22.5 with the extended magazine. I'm assuming that is unloaded, but I could be wrong. And as Zane mentioned, he doesn't know where to put his hand because they got rid of the thing that says grip zone. So he does not know where to put his hand.
Oh, no, not me. Springfield owners are not going to know what to do with this.
Yeah, because they don't know where to put grip zone. I'm gonna go on a limb. You know, it's got their standard. Well, I guess it's their grip safety, which is pretty much standard on all Springfield XD stuff. You know, some people like it, some people don't. If you're looking for something like this, I guess shoot one first. The only thing, I'm not going to even mention Springfield's stuff, but I've never had any problem with the grip safety. That's me. But I also find the XDSs feel, even loaded, very top heavy. That's me. But they've shot fine for me, so that's all I can say. I currently do not own any Springfield anything, I think. So you can take that for what it's worth. And now we'll get into what Zane hates.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I hate. I hate pistols that catastrophically fail at an exponentially higher rate than those in the same price range and in the same category. That's what I hate. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I saw the video too. I don't
understand why people are still buying Spring. Listen, I don't.
Okay.
I still remember when Springfield took a dump on the Second Amendment a couple years back. But that's beside the point, really.
Oh, Zane, you know, see, I said I was going to leave that behind, but
no. That's the problem. We forget too quick.
Well, I didn't forget.
Says the guy who owns a Ruger. So yeah, there's that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
We forget too quick.
No, I don't. What is going on over at Springfield? Like, what? I don't know.
Ruger is under new management. Okay.
No, I don't know. I don't like Springfield guns. It's not a big secret. I especially don't like XDs, mainly because XD fanboys are way worse than Glock fanboys. Way worse.
You know what?
And yeah, their guns just they break. The main thing that breaks is that stupid grip safety. Get rid of it, and they won't fail nearly as much.
Well, and I don't I mean, I understand why people say, "Hey, I want a grip safety."
Well, and to be
But
fair, it is a legit single action, so I think it kind of needs to be there because I believe the striker is fully pre-cocked.
Or almost. It's pretty, most of the way, but they still have a trigger safety. I mean, it's still got your little flappy thing. So
yeah.
So
but you don't want what happened with the SIGs to happen with this. Look, I have no problem with these. They get a lot of rounds through them. Yeah, they're not as popular. But I've got friends that actually run competitions with them. They like what they do. They put a lot of rounds through them. Their failure rate.
What's his name?
I watch.
What's the competition shooter who?
Rob Pincus.
No, Rob Pincus. Rob Latham. I mean, he got hundreds of thousands of rounds through him, and he likes him. He's also paid by Springfield, but you know.
But so what? Because Rob Pincus runs classes with these things, and if they don't work, the reputation will get around that his pistols suck. You know what I mean? Because people go to his classes all across the country. Now,
but pretty much every other trainer won't recommend. He's the only trainer I'm aware of that recommends the XD pistols, and I'm not saying he's wrong.
I just don't trust some of these trainers because these trainers get checks.
Okay, well,
I don't put everything into. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Kevin.
I haven't had any go down that we've had. Yeah, I've had go down in any of our classes. But our class is a round count between 250 and 500, and it's one day class. But I look at the number of people that take multi-day classes among gun owners, and it's a very small percentage. So I leave it at that. I think people make a big deal about it because they want to poo-poo on these things, and fine. I mean, like what you like, but they put a lot of rounds through it. I don't think this thing is perfect. I watched their video, and Rob Latham said this thing is perfect no less than 6 times, and I'm like, no, it's not.
It's a mechanical device. I mean, it's going to have problems no matter what. I mean, is there a perfect car?
Well, and the whole argument. The whole argument about most people don't shoot their guns that much. It's like, well, yeah, I equate it to like the Rat's tourniquet. Like, Is it probably going to work? Yeah, probably. But is there way better options for like the same price out there? Yeah, there is. So why not just get something better? You know?
Oh, I look at it
I
this
mean,
way. I don't
if the
even
pistol
think,
still costs like
this.
$250, like it did when it originally came out and had a different name on it, then I'd say, yeah, go
Just
get
let it go.
But
Let it go. It's not going to be $250. My whole thing is this. I don't believe Springfield makes the best single stack concealed carry 9mm pistols. I'd go
They
with
don't.
other manufacturers. Yeah, I'm just saying. I'd go with other manufacturers before I ever went with a Springfield.
I'd
But
rather
if
have
you're
a G word before I'd have this thing.
And
What's the G word?
the Glock.
Oh, okay, yeah, whatever.
No, I mean I've got an XDS 45 and an XD 45. I put a couple mags through both of them, and they're now sitting in the back of my gun safe.
You know, I think Tony was gonna, or sorry, not Tony. Kenny was gonna say something about having one or something that works for him or something. I didn't catch it.
Yeah, I've got an XD40 that I've had for a number of years. I've got probably 1,000, 1,200 rounds through it. It's always worked for me. I actually shoot it better than just about anything else in my safe. Is it perfect? No, it's far from it, but it was a good price. Springfield was offering it with extra mags and gear that's, you never use. You just kind of toss it in a bin. But overall, it works. I had a bunch of 40 ammo when I used to be a cop, so it was like, well, I need a 40. Let me go ahead and get something that's cheap that I can run.
And I'll agree with you. And I've gone before and said on previous shows that, I had an XD40 and I probably put 2,600 rounds through it shooting USPSA and had zero problems with it. I mean, zero problems. And that's pretty much all I did with it. But then, something I sold it, and not because I didn't like it. It's just I didn't like it enough. But I'm kind of with saying I'm still not thrilled what Springfield did, but it worked for me. I'm with Tony though, thinking that Springfield does not make single stack compact guns as well as other people do. And so if I were to buy one, I would buy a different brand.
a lot of those words
Chad,
are
you'd make a
unnecessary.
lovely politician one day.
No, I mean I think we all had our points. I don't think Springfield's wholesale garbage, but it's like when I'm looking at guns, I don't. When you walk into a gun store and you're going to look at handguns, how far down the list is Springfield? Like if everything was laid out, how far down the list would Springfield be at the guns you looked at?
I just think Springfield's
above
happy.
Jordan.
Springfield's happy Sig keeps screwing up, taking some of the heat off them.
Well, and I'm going to go with, I think Springfield basically has these in their, but I'm going with their 1911s are what probably people are like, oh, I want a Springfield, or you want an M1A. That's pretty much your options, unless you can find an old Chinese one or one of the.
No, I want an overpriced AR-15. That's
that.
I want a Saint. Because I'm like, yeah, okay. Again, Saints are all right, but that's it. They're just okay. They're 1911s, the range officer. I've shot a few of those, and they're great 1911s.
Full disclosure, I have no experience with their 1911s. Only their Saint and their XDs.
I have heard good things about their 1911s. I've heard somebody that used to be on the network had one of their 9mm 1911s and could not get it to run worth anything.
Yep, so, and he had to send it off and have all kinds of work done to it.
Exactly. So, it's kind of a toss-up. I have a good friend of mine has one, not recent one, but from back in the day, and that thing runs flawlessly. So, and it's not a 9mm, it's 45 like they're supposed to be, I guess. But, so I think it's kind of one of those things. If you like it, great. If you put enough rounds through it and you trust it, great. If not, don't buy it.
But kind of like what Tony was saying, like where are they on the list of things you're going to look at? Especially I think they're all overpriced. Like I put them in a category of cheaper guns when it comes to quality.
Well, and the thing is you can get look at what this gun competes with: the M&P Shield.
Yeah, and
how
Glock
right? And how much is an M&P Shield? I mean,
much cheaper. Like,
exactly.
You can pick those up for like $300.
Exactly, and even the
2.0s. You have more than those. I mean, you still have the Walthers that make their single stack and have been for years and chugging right along. I mean, there are other companies that I would always stop by at the gun counter and look at. Period.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm talking about not Springfield.
Yep, and of course, I'm guilty of putting this in here for Zane.
I knew you did that just to get a rise out of me.
You know, I actually saw this and I said, this will be good if Ryan doesn't give me the stuff I need. And then I'm like, Ryan sends me the stuff. I'm like, I'm going to leave this in here because Zane is going to love me for it. And, I guess
my whole thing with the whole XD line of pistols is that they don't compete with Glock and the Smith & Wesson M&Ps. They're priced to compete with them, but they don't.
But the
quality is not there.
Right.
And I guess that's what irritates me.
Yep.
It should irritate you because this is the total example of advertisement. If you're old enough to remember when there was the HS 2000 and it was like a $250, $300 gun, and then
Croatia
Springfield buys the right. Exactly. It was from Croatia. It's still from Croatia. They write it on the side. Springfield slaps their name on it, changes up the mag so you don't even have that anymore, and puts the exact same gun out. Now, I'll go ahead and say that not a lot of PDs carry these. I don't know if they have horrible deals with Springfield and trying to get a deal with the local police departments, but they don't. Maybe it's because Glock and Smith & Wesson and others have such a lock on it, but I think maybe they can't pass the test. I'm just saying, maybe they can't come up to the level. I don't care if this thing says they had 25,000 rounds through this. Truthfully, as much as I like Rob, and Rob Pincus is a friend of mine, I still look more forward to his PD-10 coming out than I do care about this thing coming out from Springfield.
Is that thing still coming out?
Period.
They're still working on it. Who knows?
That's what he says.
Guess what? I'm going to go here and say that we're pretty much done with this Springfield XDS9 Mod 2. So if you want to see something really cool, up next is the Nova Grade phone adapter for your spotting scopes. With an MSRP of $149, it's kind of cool. These guys were at Triggercon. This is kind of a cool, well-made adapter. It may fit on some actual rifle scopes, but it's made for spotting scopes. What it is it's a phone adapter. It's made out of aluminum. It is machined, so you get it's pretty nice. I mean you're getting what you pay for in this. Rob was telling me he has another brand that works pretty well and is about the same price, so that's good to know. They're in the ballpark. The way it mounts is it's got different ring adapters that you can put on your spotting scope, and then you just kind of mount it on there. I mean, it's kind of hard to explain. Then you stick your phone on it, kind of eyeball the center. It's got a little nifty spring-loaded thing that holds your phone. If you're really worried about it, they offer a double spring-loaded holder. So pretty much you can leave it in your phone case. You don't have to take it out. It's easy to adjust. Anything up to 4 3/8 inches wide. The eyepiece is there. It weighs almost a pound. Not super small, not super big. Enough adjustments. You can adjust it to wherever you need it to be. I actually thought it was pretty cool. Very well made. Which was what impressed me on it, because I kind of looked at it. I'm like, it's a phone adapter, but the way it was made kind of sold me on it. And
you bored Tony.
What? I bored Tony? He's asleep. Tony, wake up.
What? Yeah, phone adapter. Yeah. Like tape don't work. All right, sure.
Okay. Anybody else?
Did you say what the MSRP was? I was in the chat.
Yeah, it's $149.
Does that seem a little high to anybody else? I don't. Well,
It's
I mean,
all
yeah.
aluminum.
I mean,
it's-
it's aluminum, and you got to get your R&D money back and all. But how much R&D? I don't know. I have a thing. I have a thing on my windshield right now that I can clip my phone to. I think I paid like $13 for it. Like
I got my stuff at $5 below. I know what you're saying.
And I don't like to crap on
I'm
stuff
sorry,
because
but a
it's
C
expensive.
clamp.
Because I believe in buying quality stuff and buy once, cry once, and all that. But I'm not seeing it unless I'm completely missing something, which could happen.
Well, they make adapters like this, like iScope makes them for various phones and such, and they're like $90 for the ones that are specific to a phone. But they stop at like the iPhone 6. They don't have anything for the newer stuff.
Right.
And then they make it universal. That's like about the same price, like $139.
I mean, if this like clamped to your phone and then had like a fiber optic cable that like clamped onto the thing, and I would be like, oh, that's cool. But you're literally just like lining up a hole with a hole. Like you got to do all the work still.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what you're doing, Zane.
Yeah.
But where it is nice is when you're shooting long range or you're shooting by yourself.
You can just look over.
You just kind of glance over. Yep, okay. You can glance back. Not only that, but if you got your camera up, you can just take a picture each time you shoot around, so you can know how you shot. Each group or what have you.
You mean
good
holes
idea.
don't stay in your paper?
Oh, holes stay in my paper.
holes
You'll know
stay
which
in your
hole
paper?
you put first, second, third, fourth, fifth.
No,
Tony.
I know what you're saying. So you don't have to like go down and mark the mark the or
Right,
paste up the target.
and
The
if you're
reason
shooting
I
the
do that
longer
is
ranges,
when I do long range shooting, I actually graph out each shot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on a piece of paper, and I say, this is where I did my shots. This is what the wind was, barometric pressure, all that crap. This way, I can just take a picture each time, go home, and I can actually have even take that picture and download it and either print it out or save it to my hard drive on my computer, and I've got an actual record of how the group looked. 3 or 4 months later, now I can know exactly how I'm shooting.
I still have some of my data books from the Marines somewhere.
I was thinking of that. I'm like, that's exactly what we did. Yeah. I really look at it like, if this is a going rate for what this is, that's fine. I mean, that's what it is. And it's easier than trying to line up a hole with a hole between each shot. Just have it locked in and great. I mean, I just look at it like, wow, that's expensive. And that's probably not something I'd get unless I was doing something specific. You know what I mean? Unless I had a reason to drop $150 on this thing. I'm lining up a hole with a hole, taking a picture, keeping it moving.
I could see this being a greater benefit if it was like Bluetooth or something, where you still had your phone down at your shooting position and you could see what was going on through the spotting scope. Your spotting scope is not going to be where you're shooting. So you'd have to either get up and see what's going on. So if you could keep your phone down with you at the shooting position where you don't have to break your cheek weld and you can easily glance over to your phone and see what happened, I think that would be a greater benefit and worth the $150. The way that it is right now, even as a long distance shooter, I still don't really see the benefit of it for $150. 80 or 90, I can maybe get away with.
I mean, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm
like,
agree.
You're still coming off your rifle.
Yeah, I agree. Bluetooth or maybe like a fiber cable or something to where you can just glance over. That's if you're shooting prone or whatever. Because I'm not thinking. Yeah, because your spotting scope sits up high, doesn't it? That's a good point. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, and it's not beside you.
Unless you're just trying to record, like you just hit record or whatever, and then deal with it later. I don't know.
If you're shooting varmints or something and want to record them and post them on Facebook.
And PETA comes after you and
whatever.
After you what?
Hippies.
They say they don't like yours.
Okay. Well, we actually have listener feedback.
Oh my God.
I know.
We're probably gonna have listener feedback next week.
Oh yeah.
Stupid. I have 80,000 rounds through my XD and it's never failed once, and I've never cleaned it or changed a single part. Get out of here.
Yeah, I have an XG Gen 1, and I fired nothing but 40 Smith & Wesson through it for 75,000 rounds, and I haven't replaced one part.
Never replaced a recoil spring or anything.
Nothing. I haven't even cleaned it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And I've shot nothing but steel case through it.
I've seen these comments. You've seen them too. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, okay. We had some other feedback, but I couldn't find it. So, I kind of have problems. This one came from iTunes. It's from JP in Bakersfield. He gave us 5 stars. Says, I love the Gun and Gear Review podcast. It's fun to listen to you guys go back and forth between each other, and it makes all of the reviews fun, even if it's something I can't get here in California or something that normally wouldn't be an item I was looking into. Hope to hear the shows for years to come and the Second Amendment to be recognized as it should be in states like California and New Jersey. Well, thank you, JP. And I guess we can get into New Jersey now with Tony and his diversity shoots.
No, he can't. He just dropped out.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay.
Whoops.
I guess. Oops. I guess we'll say this for him. Let's see. Next diversity shoot is, I have no idea, but you can go to Simon Says Train on Instagram or Second is for Everyone Facebook or the 2A4E webpage. And if you want to donate money, you can go for the Second is for Everyone GoFundMe. And you can join his 2A4E Patreon if you want to give him money every month.
Hey, Chad, you're muted.
Yeah. Where'd I mute at? The 2A3E?
Right after
Yeah.
Patreon.
Okay, well, that didn't matter. I dropped something on the keyboard. Don't mind me. So if you want to give Tony
We
some
never
money,
did. We never will.
I know. Give him some money. He's doing great things out there in New Jersey and other places. And since he didn't want to read his own stuff, he gets the short version this week. So
That one guy will be happy, though.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody will be happy. Send questions, comments, or feedbacks to gungearreview@gmail.com, even if you want to say something about XDs or Springfield Armory, etc., etc. Remember to subscribe and leave us an iTunes review like JP did because he's cool. Check out all the other shows on the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.tv. Be sure to visit the Firearms Insider for reviews and industry coverage. Check us out on Facebook at Facebook/Firearms Insider. Follow us at Firearms Insider on Instagram. Thank you for listening to the largest pound for pound podcast on the network, which may not be quite the case today because Tony dropped out. And we are out.
Goodbye, Felicia. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day. Whatever.